Hey, movie buff, we're airing a selection of really cool movies for the evening. Be sure to watch the video to the end, and if you like it, share it with your friends who are looking for a good movie for the evening. They'll thank you. And I'll thank you if you give me a like for my efforts. Subscribe if you are not already subscribed to receive regular selections with good movies and series, and not to puzzle over what to watch tonight.
You Logans mustn't be as simple-minded as people say.
People say that?
A crime comedy in the style of Ocean's 11, but with a provincial scope. By the way, both of these movies were directed by Steven Soderbergh. The main character of the movie is Jimmy Logan, who has not had much luck lately. He was fired from his job for his limp. Plus, his ex-wife threatens to take his daughter to another city, and to challenge her decision, you need money for a lawyer. All this bad luck fits perfectly into the opinion of others about the Logan family. But Jimmy decides to change everything in one fell swoop. He is going to rob a super profitable racetrack and develops a flawless plan in which he dedicates his veteran brother Clyde and his sister Melly. Jimmy has worked at the track and knows how the underground money vault works, but it takes a professional to handle the safe. Someone like Joe Buback, the legendary safe cracker. But here's the problem. He's in jail and has 5 months left to serve, and his services will be needed in 5 weeks. But Jimmy has a plan for this, starring Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, and other stars.
Would you give me my arm, please?
Is it this one?
You guys are gonna take care of him?
What do you think we are, gangsters?
RocknRolla. Cool and driving crime comedy from Guy Ritchie with a lot of stars in the main roles. This is Gerald Butler, Tom Hardy, Tom Wilkinson, Mark Strong, and not only. It is difficult to tell about the plot because of the large number of characters who periodically come to the forefront. The main character is essentially absent, but everything revolves around the affairs of an elderly businessman, Lenny Cole. For the sake of enrichment, he uses connections with city judges, councillors, and other influential figures. He makes crooked deals, sells influence, and is not afraid to break the law. But more often than not, he preys on the small fish. So, recently, he managed to warm up a couple of simple-minded gangsters named Mumbles and 1-2. The guys wanted to make some money and ended up owing Lenny $2 million. And while they're looking for a way to pay, Lenny has a big fish on his hands, Russian billionaire Yuri Amovich. He wants to complete his stadium and needs a permit, for which he's willing to pay big money. Lenny thinks he's hit the jackpot, but he's too early to rejoice, as he's about to be caught up in a whirlwind involving a missing painting, rock star Johnny Quid, and accountant Stella. Anyway, you can't make sense of it without popcorn. The movie is really worthwhile. I envy those who have not seen it yet.
RocknRolla.
Hey, June! It's a beautiful dress!
Night and Day. Comedy action movie with elements of melodrama and with 2 great actors in the main roles, Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. Honestly, this is not a movie, but a real hit and mood for the whole day. I recommend it wholeheartedly. So June Havens, while boarding a flight from Kansas, meets a cute guy named Roy Miller. And then it turned out that they were on the same flight in a half-empty airplane, and it was a sin not to talk. Roy turned out to be a charming conversationalist, and it wasn't the first time June had been to a rodeo, so she decided to take the bull by the horns and get to know him better. How could she know that her traveling companion was a real secret agent who had stolen some super battery, beret, unique and dangerous at the same time? Now, because of a chance encounter, June's in trouble with the FBI types. Or is it FBI types? And she has no idea whether to believe them or Roy. And he keeps up the good work, saying he's saving her from trouble, but adding new ones. And worst of all, he's still so damn charming.
I panicked.
What number would you like?
3. Yeah, let's just stick with 3. It's good.
Okay.
I work for the British people. I do not gather intelligence so that the government can lie to the British people.
Official Secrets. A political drama starring Keira Knightley. It's a movie about those who are willing to ruin their lives but do the right thing. It's about people who care. It is based on real events and therefore deserves thoughtful viewing. 2003. Catherine works as a Chinese translator for British intelligence. She has access to the secret messages of intelligence services and diplomats of different countries. Catherine knows the political kitchen from the inside. That's why she is corrupted by the lies of politicians from the screen. For example, the United States government claims that Iraq allegedly has biological weapons. But from the secret data, Catherine knows that they have no proof. They just need to start a war. One day, a message falls into Catherine's hands that is designed to pressure UN members to vote in favor of war in Iraq. Even though the threat information is unproven, Catherine desperately wants to prevent this. She is gnawed by a sense of injustice and finally decides to publicize the case. The girl copies the message, sends it to the right place, and at the same time trembles with fear. If the department finds out who did it, she will go to jail.
So, you work for the British government?
No.
No?
Hey, Tiffany. This is Pat.
You look nice.
Thank you.
How'd Tommy die?
Silver Linings Playbook. This movie has love, drama, and lots of great humor. The script is wonderful, and at least 2 stars in the cast, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, and you can rewatch it at least 100 times. Pat, a schoolteacher, has not passed the harsh test of adversity in his personal life and is committed to a mental institution. It's not easy to get out of there, but he behaves well and is released under the condition that Pat must never go near his ex-wife or try to contact her. Pat's parents, already elderly people, try in every possible way to distract their son and keep him at home. But Pat is not ready to stop thinking about his wife so easily because they had love. Only psychopathic Tiffany, the sister of his friend's wife, understands Pat and seemingly even agrees to help send a message to his ex. But she also acts in her own interests. Pat will also have to help her in one very important case. I highly recommend the movie to watch. This is the case when it is really not a pity to spend 2 hours of time.
Wait, what's this?
Well, I thought you were doing it.
Oh, I thought you were doing it.
Edge of Tomorrow, starring Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise. Despite the fact that this is a pretty famous picture, I decided that it would be the one to represent sci-fi in this selection. After all, Edge of Tomorrow is a really cool sci-fi movie that you want to revisit, and you can only envy those who have not seen it yet. The Earth is attacked by aliens, the forces are unequal, the situation is bleak. Major William Cage, in this turbulent time, works in the press service of the US Department of Defense, speaks on television, and presents in a favorable light Operation Invasion that ordinary Americans more actively went to the recruits. Cage himself has never held a gun in his hands and did not intend to, but one day he was framed, declared a deserter, forced to put on an exomoon, and without any training, thrown to the front line in the thick of it. Major was able to see for himself that it was not a battle, but a real meat grinder. Aliens leave no chance for anyone. In front of Cage dies a famous female super soldier, Rita Wachowski, nicknamed All Metal Bitch, and soon dies and he himself. But time seems to have zigzagged as the hero finds himself back at headquarters to don an exomoon and start over. Now he must contact the All Metal Bitch and tell her what awaits them. But the chance of them believing him is slim.
Your leg's broken.
No, I'm good.
Then you better start over.
Oh, come on.
Your first time at the El Royale?
Bad Times at the El Royale, a typical Tarantino-style detective thriller with cool old hits in the background and plenty of surprises along the way. Director Drew Goddard did not trifle. There are a lot of stars in the lead roles. This is Jeff Bridges, Dakota Johnson, Chris Hemsworth, John Hamm, and not only. It all begins with the fact that in a small hotel, El Royale, located at the junction of Nevada and California, begin to move in guests. There's a holy father, a singer,
a homely vacuum cleaner sales manager, and a hippie girl. The hotel has fallen on hard times, so guests are greeted only by a nervous kid named Miles. He's the porter, the maid, and the bartender. Miles takes payment from the guests, hands out the keys, and everyone goes to their rooms, where behind closed doors, they can finally drop their masks and take secrets out of their suitcases. But they will do it, of course, in vain, because the hotel itself is watching them closely. Well, and when the charming and cunning sectarian Billy Lee comes to El Royale and makes a real mess, that's when all the most interesting things will begin. In general, it's unlikely that anyone will have a good time tonight.
You watch me?
I only watch who they tell me to watch.
Who's they?
Hey, how you doing? I'm Hollis. You a cop? Yes.
The Ledge, a melodrama and at the same time a psychological thriller about a love triangle. The film touches upon many themes, including philosophical ones, which one has to think about, as well as emotional moments that make you empathize with the characters. It is definitely worth watching. The policeman Hollis was in a terrible mood because of the conflict with his wife, and then he received a call about a man standing on the ledge of a high-rise. Hollis had to put his own problems on the back burner and go to save someone else's life. The case with the jumper was not typical. It begins with his acquaintance with a pretty married neighbor, Shana Harris. Her husband is a religious fanatic who believes in the institution of family, and Gavin has his own philosophy that doesn't stop him from falling in love with another man's wife. So why does Hollis end up having to convince Gavin to get off the ledge? You'll find the answer at the end of the movie.
You got you a girlfriend? Not exactly.
Oh, how can you see out of those glasses? Filthy.
Woman in Gold, a drama based on a true story starring Helen Mirren and Ryan Reynolds. The movie is heartwarming and makes you think about serious things. Although it has been criticized for being inconsistent with the original story, Maria Allman, an elderly Jewish woman from California, learns of a law that allows her to recover property stolen by the Nazis from her family during the war. She would most like to sue for the painting Woman in Gold that hangs in the Vienna Gallery because it depicts her own Aunt Adele, but she can't afford a lawyer. For help, Maria turns to the son of a friend, a young lawyer Randall, who has just problems with work, but he doubts the client, a difficult person. She is not ready to pay, but at the same time likes to receive and badly goes to concessions. And is there any chance of winning in court? However, Randy still agrees.
Andy, can't you drive a little faster? Look, the chocolate on your donut is melting.
Did you just take my picture?
Erase it. I guess I'm probably not the kind of person you're normally friends with.
Oh, you do not want to be friends with me. Trust me.
A Simple Favor, a comedy detective thriller starring Blake Lively, Anna Kendrick, and Henry Golding. Stephanie is a model single mom. She manages to do parenting, keep her own YouTube blog where she shares recipes, and attends school events. Just after one such event, Stephanie meets the mom of a boy her son is friends with. Her name is Emily, and she may not be a great mom, but she is elegant and confident. Stephanie wants to be friends with her and become at least a little like her. When Emily asks her to pick up her son from school, Stephanie agrees. It's a simple request. However, since then, she has not seen her new friend, and she had to go to the police. At the same time, Stephanie begins to conduct her own investigation, turning her YouTube blog into a detective series. Had she known how much she would learn about Emily in the process?
I want to know your secret.
This was the last movie for today, but there are many more to come, so subscribe to get them regularly and not to puzzle over what to watch tonight.